Hello, today I'm going to make a wildlife log pile. In fact, I'm going to make two wildlife log piles. One's going to be very informal and one's going to be very formal, if formal can be applied to a wildlife log pile. They're also known as Deadwood environments and they're brilliant for the ecosystem and biodiversity, and I'll explain why in a moment, but let me just show you this. This is my lawn, and as you can see, it's covered with hedge prunings. I've been doing quite a lot of hedge pruning before the bird nesting season started, and it's left me with a lot of organic material to deal with. I've been trying to think of ideas, and one of the ideas is a wildlife log pile. I'm going to share with you all the considerations I've taken into account in constructing my two wildlife log piles. And there's something interesting about these Deadwood environments, because they're going to be inside where eventually my chicken run will be. So not only will they be great for the environment, they'll also be interesting for the hens, who will be able to share the spoils because there will be insects and invertebrates. Right, let me show you where I'm going to do it. I will walk over there now, and hopefully the microphone will stay in contact with the camera. I think anything wildlife related, do it in a remote corner of your garden. So I am going to do it right down here on the far boundary of my garden against this fence. Now down here I have my wildflower mound, and underneath that is a subterranean hedgehog house. You can find videos on all these things on my channel, and here are three fruit trees, very mature fruit trees, a pear and two apples, which I've given really severe pruning to, as you can see. In fact, I've over pruned them, and that's where some of these logs have come from. Right, my chicken run, or where I'm going to have my hens, is going to be all the way along here, along this fence, about 3 meters wide, and the hens will be able to run around in here and peck. And down here is a strip of nettles, which I never cut down here. It's left to go wild. So again, hopefully they will be able to enjoy the nettles and keep them under control. So this is where I'm going to build and construct my two wildlife log piles. Now you can see here I've got a wheelbarrow full of spent compost, bits of gravel, old soil, twigs, and this is going to come into play. There's also a mound of earth over there. I'm going to use some of that. One of the things you're supposed to do with a wildlife log pile is bury some of it, because it then acts as an interface between the soil and the air. The soil is important because it's full of microbes and microorganisms, and they are the very bottom end of the food chain, and that very bottom end of the food chain is really important for the whole food chain. So that's where biodiversity and the ecosystem comes into play. So you will see me bury the bottom of the log pile so that it can start that process of decay. Decay equals life. Decay is not death in the garden, it's life. It's microbes, it's microorganisms, it's bacteria, it's invertebrates, it's insects. And some of these are not even visible to the naked eye, but they're doing an incredibly important job. That's why that's there. Right. Why did I say formal and why did I say informal? Let me explain. I observed when I was bringing all the logs together that some of them were quite straight. And I thought if I chop those up into equal lengths and stack them in a pyramid, that would look quite nice. So that's what I'm going to do with anything that is remotely straight and will stack in a pyramid. On the other hand, several of the logs, these for example, just could not be stacked in an orderly fashion. They will literally be thrown, tossed informally into a pile. They can find their own balance. So that's why I said formal and informal. Now let me explain a somewhat scientific principle here, which I first learned in O-level biology when we were talking about cell structure and osmosis and diffusion and all that stuff. The smaller the object, the larger the surface area relative to volume. Why am I explaining that? Well, the smaller you cut things, the bigger the surface area relative to the volume. And that gives more opportunity for attackers like bacteria to get into it. So if you cut things smaller, they rot down quicker. And the reason I'm telling you that is there's going to be quite a lot of cutting in this video. I've got my electric chainsaw and my safety goggles. I'm going to cut the straight ones into equal lengths. But the ones that are not straight, the higgledy-piggledy ones, I'm going to cut up into smaller pieces. And that way they'll have a bigger surface area, and that will advance and accelerate the decay. That's the point. Right, so there's going to be a lot of cutting, and you will be bored to tears if I just made you watch all that cutting in real time. So I'll do a lot of that in fast forward. When I've organised all the logs, I'll come and speak to you again when I start stacking them, because there's something else I really need to do with some of these logs, which will really help the biodiversity. Right, watch this bit in fast forward to music. I'll see you in a moment. Of course, I must say before I start cutting, your safety is your responsibility, and you must take the right precautions with power tools like a chainsaw. Now, this electric chainsaw, albeit powerful, is very quiet, so I don't necessarily need ear protection, but if it was a petrol one, I would definitely use those. I certainly need protection for my eyes, and of course the appropriate clothing for chainsaw use. You must take adequate precautions. It's your responsibility to do so. Right, let's get cutting. So that is the informal log pile completed, and I hope you would agree it does look rather informal, doesn't it? Half of it is buried in the soil and has contact with the earth, which allows that interface for those microorganisms, and the rest of it is exposed to the elements, the wind, the rain, the light. Imagine the fun the wildlife is going to have in this informal log pile, and we're only moments away from completing the formal one, but there's a special touch I need to do on that, which I'll share with you in a moment. I just wanted to mention that everything you see in my videos is available in my Amazon shop, and I will put some links below this video, and it really supports me if you can do your Amazon shopping through my links, because I earn a small commission on every sale, and it all mounts up and goes back into my garden project. So thank you if you could consider shopping through my Amazon links. You'll find lots in the description box below this video. Right, let's go and have a look at the formal log pile. So these are all those straight logs which I've cut to approximately the same length, and you can imagine they will look quite nice in a pyramid shape. Now, have you heard of solitary bees? By definition, they live on their own and they like to live in holes. So what I'm going to do with a wood bit and several different size wood bits is drill holes into these logs. Now, if these holes are facing upwards, they can fill up with water and drown the insects. So when I position them, I will try to get them at least pointing below horizontal, so that any bees or other insects that want to go and live in there or even hibernate in there won't drown if it rains. So I will now spend a few moments putting hundreds of holes in these logs. I will put a layer on the floor, on the ground. Then I will put some soil on top, and then I'll pile it up. You'll see all that in fast forward. I'll see you in a moment, because I've got something interesting to tell you about this. So there we go, 2 different styles of wildlife log piles or deadwood environments. And don't forget the side benefit of this, which is that we're keeping waste in the garden. We're not burning it or sending it to landfill. So in a sense, it's carbon capture. Right, I promised you something interesting. Look at this. Down here, I have a wildlife trail camera. Now this is interesting for a couple of reasons really. Firstly, obviously, I'd be able to share footage with you of wildlife around the log pile. Also, when my hens move in, I'll be able to get their activities on camera too. So any videos from that camera will be linked in the description box below this one. But it's interesting for a second reason. I was given that by a company to review. In fact, I was given 3. I've given 2 away already. I'm about to give that one away. You can win that if you join my club, Mark's House and Garden UK Club. Every month we have a prize draw. We call it the giveaway gift bundle. It's all the products I get given to review. I give them away, and there's lots more coming. I've already given away one of those electric chainsaws. I asked for 2, I kept one. That one went in the drawer a couple of months ago. So have a look at my club if you don't mind. Consider joining. We have a newsletter, a giveaway gift bundle. We have exclusive content. We have discount codes. Right. Don't forget, have a look in the description box below this video for any footage from that. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon for some more log pile adventures. Bye for now.